Hey guys, welcome to Collider Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Leading off the show today is Jon Campea.
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, coming to you from right here at the Collider Video Studios here in Burbank, California. We are so glad you decided to make us part of your day.
Also here is Jon Schnepp.
That's right. It was a weekend in Vegas. Ha ha ha! Victory!
Oh also here is Jeremy Jahns.
It's fine. It's Monday. Happy Monday.
Also here is Mark Ellis.
These guys got to go to Vegas. I live in an apartment complex that turned off the water at 6 a.m. today. No showering for this guy. Overrated anyway.
All right, guys. Well, look, it's actually a pretty packed day today. Like, all you got to do is look at the, I always use my wrong hand, all the stuff here in the sidebar.
Look at that Vanna White sidebar.
But something else really big also dropped just before we started the show. Ashley, tell us about it.
Deadline is reporting that the long-in-development Uncharted movie has cast Spider-Man himself, Tom Holland, as young Nathan Drake in the film. The outlet notes the film will be a prequel to the game series, taking its plot from the sequence in Uncharted 3, Drake's Deception, where the young thief first encounters his partner, Victor Sullivan, setting up the events of the entire game franchise. Deadline is also reporting that this new version of the film will bring on a new writer to rework the newfound premise, with Sean Levy still attached to direct. John, what do you think of the casting and new premise for Uncharted?
I don't know how I feel about this. Now, let me preface that. I have become a really big Tom Holland fan lately. We talked about a lot of stuff he's been doing, and I think this guy's got a great future, and I think he's wonderful. The fans of Uncharted are not looking for a teenage Nathan Drake movie. And this could be totally wrong. I'm just speculating here. This could be totally wrong, but it feels like they're going, hey, Tom's Spider-Man now, he's really popular. Let's rework our movie altogether and put him in because he's popular. And that is not the right philosophy for making a movie. You cast people to fit the story. You don't change your story to fit the cast. And like I said, I could be totally wrong about that. Maybe they had a great new idea for a Uncharted movie with a teenage, Drake, and they want to move into that. And so that prompted them to go out and get Tom Holland. If that's what happened, more power to them. It's still probably, I still think it's a mistake though. There are people who've been waiting for this Uncharted movie for a long time, and this is not the Nathan Drake they've been picturing. So it seems odd to me right now, but the kid's amazingly talented. Let's see where they're going with it. I'm meeting this news with I'm a little bit skeptical about this. Jeremy, you heard about that. You're one of the guys who've been waiting for an Uncharted movie for a long time. What do you think about this?
Well, in a world where I've now professed I will not get excited for any but video game movies ever in the history of ever since Assassin's Creed, I think Tom Holland, like you said, he's great. I think he would be an awesome young Nathan Drake in a part in the movie. That's
in a
it.
flashback.
Yeah, in a flashback, because his youth is a very colorful time in his life where it's set up a lot that will become Nathan Drake. If you played Uncharted 3 and Uncharted 4, they totally delve into all of that. And I think he would be great as young Nathan Drake in a part of the movie. But you're right. It's like if we found out the young Han Solo movie was going to be Han Solo when he was, a teenager, and that was, I'm already apprehensive about the Han Solo movie in general because I want mystery with Han Solo. But it's like that times none of the stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, there's nothing. He wasn't Nathan Drake yet. You're right. Fans want to see Nathan Drake go on the adventures. They're doing something interesting where it sounds like the movie actually ties in with the game rather than be its own reimagining.
The flashbacks have been from the third game, right?
Yeah, the third and the fourth game. And so the fact that the movie can work in tandem with the game is a different take. I don't think I've seen a video game movie actually do that. That said, I don't think it's a smart move. I think, you keep Tom Holland as young Nathan Drake for a part in the movie, and then you cast an older Nathan Drake, and you have yourself a pretty solid Uncharted film. But don't make it the whole movie.
You do raise a very interesting point because my outlook completely changed on this. If we find out, no, he's just going to play young Nathan Drake in certain scenes.
That'd be awesome.
If we find that out, that's awesome. But the way the story reads now, it sounds like the whole movie's based on him. But who knows? Maybe it'll go the other way. Schnepp, you heard about this for the first time just like a half hour ago. What do you think about this?
I think it's a great idea. I mean, I think for everyone who is excited about seeing a Nathan Drake film while we don't have an Indiana Jones film, and the ones that we do have a really old Indiana Jones that I would prefer they not make anymore. I would prefer that to see a new Indiana Jones, but if they're not going to do that, Nathan Drake at least picks up that kind of serialized action adventure character. That they're going with Tom Holland, who's a great actor. He's really fun. He's young. It totally changes the entire storyline. But if they are going to tie it into the video game and make the movies like prequels, you have a young enough person who can grow into becoming Nathan Drake, and we can maybe have like 10 amazing Uncharted films. So I kind of look at it as a fun, fresh way to restart something that they haven't even started yet.
Mark?
This is going to gut Collider's engineering capabilities, John, because now Cody Hall is going to be out for Spider-Man movies and for Uncharted films. I don't know how we're going to survive. Look, this news doesn't hit me as hard as it hits the video game players on the table, but I was looking forward to Uncharted, and I had in my mind somebody who was more like an Indiana Jones age from Raiders of the Lost Ark or Temple of Doom. So when I see that Tom Holland is cast as Nathan Drake, you start thinking, oh, that's probably because they want to make 20 of these movies. They just want to keep cranking them out, which is smart business sense to cast somebody younger in the role, as long as that doesn't alienate the fan base. And I'm not sure what this is going to do, because if they cast any other kid that was Tom Holland's age in this, people would be lighting up message boards with hay right now, because there's so much goodwill for Tom Holland because he was so good as Spider-Man in Civil War, and the new movie looks great. I think that that's being tempered a little bit. It remains to be seen if he can grow facial hair. It remains to be seen if he is going to be good as Nathan Drake. But Sony's so enamored with this kid, they think he can do anything. What I'll say about setting up a franchise with a younger star so you can have more movies to make, Harrison Ford looked like Indiana Jones in 1981, and he could have still played Indiana Jones. He's going to be playing him 40 years later.
Let me bring
so
up...
you can still have you can cast somebody who's 35 and still be making movies for a long time with that person.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the opening 5 minutes, River Phoenix played a young Indiana Jones.
And it's a great sequence.
It's an amazing sequence. And honestly, if they could have done another young Indiana Jones movie, if unfortunately River Phoenix passed away, but if they used him and did that as an entire film, I would have been completely 100% into it. So I kind of look at it like this is a chance to do that.
Now, I'm actually really curious about what you guys think about this news of Tom Holland, given the age of the character. Is this news that you're excited about, or were you wanting to see an older Nathan? I'm really curious to know what you guys think. So right now, Mark is putting up a Twitter poll. So just go to our Twitter. It's @ColliderVideo, all right? @ColliderVideo on Twitter, and you're going to find a poll there that Mark's putting up. It might take about 30 seconds for it to go
It's going
up.
to take me a lot longer, John. I'm working on the mainframe.
The other Mark. Sorry, Mark Riley is putting
God.
this up. And it's a simple yes or no. Do you like the casting of Tom Holland? Yes or no? I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say, and we'll check in on that poll at the end of the show. All right, with all that out of the way, let's move on to the first official story of the day.
Sony announced via a press release, followed by reports from multiple outlets, that Tom Hardy and Zombieland director Ruben Fleischer are in final negotiations for Venom, Sony's first movie and a proposed shared universe spin-off from Spider-Man. The R-rated project is one of Sony's top priorities, with the studio also developing a Silver Sable / Black Cat spin-off as well. Plot details are being kept under wraps, but Hardy will play Eddie Brock, the character who first became Venom in the comics. The movie is now on set to begin production, with the release date already set for October 5th, 2018. John, thoughts on Tom Hardy as Venom and Ruben Fleischer directing?
Well, first of all, getting the Zombieland director on board, that's great. Now, unfortunately, the Zombieland director also stepped up to the plate with a big swing and the miss with Gangster Squad. That did not work, but Zombieland was great. So let's see what it does there. The big news here to me is the casting of Hardy. Not necessarily because Hardy's a great actor, and he is. I think most people will agree, if you're putting together a list of like maybe the top 15 best actors in Hollywood today, he'll probably pop up in almost everybody's list, somewhere on that list. But the thing that's really interesting to me is this, is Tom Holland we've all heard the stories. It's Hardy.
I know.
Holland.
I was
I've
like,
still got Holland
I'm
on the
going to do
mark.
this 3 times in this story.
And I'm going to do it again, I guarantee. Hardy is notorious for being extremely picky about the roles and the scripts that he will accept and the ones that he'll get involved in. To me, this is fascinating because he already got a little bit burned. He got some backlash on his Bane character, and justly or unjustly he did. And I think he felt a little burned on that. So for him to look at a script where he's going to play Venom, a character that's already been in the movies once and got thrashed, to look at that and go, yes, this is a script I want to be a part of, that's a fascinating aspect to me on this. Now, whether or not he's right or wrong about it being a good script or not, but apparently he must think it's great if he's going to get involved in it. So to me, that's the angle on this, is that Tom Hardy, not that they cast the talented actor, but this super picky dude in Hollywood that a lot of producers in this town have been frustrated with him over because of how picky he is. He has chosen to be involved, or at least is really close to choosing to be involved in a movie like this. It makes me very curious to see what it is they've got in store, because I got to admit, I'm one of the few people that I'm okay with Sony trying this thing out and, trying something different, try something new, do a Venom movie. Sure, I'm one of the guys I've been positive for them on that. But I did not see Hardy getting involved. I did not see that coming at all. Mark, you heard about this. What do you think?
Well, it's a sad day if you look like Topher Grace, John. My birthday party gigs have been dried up. No more Venom for this guy. But look, on its ear, you tell me there's a Venom movie coming out. Tell me Tom Hardy is going to be playing Venom. That's awesome. That's great news. When you get deeper and you're like, okay, we're not sure if this is going to be a shared universe with the current Spider-Man or not, because Venom is such an intricate part of the Spider-Man universe in the comics, you can have standalone Venom movies, and I think they'll be great. It's more telling to me that Tom Hardy is sold on this entire universe than it is on one particular script. Because I can't imagine that they're just going to have Tom Hardy be Venom in one film. You would think that they would want him back for multiple pictures because he's such a big star and Venom is such a beloved or sought-after character to be in a good big-screen adaptation. The Ruben Fleischer news doesn't really hit me anyway because, like you said, Zombieland was really great, and I don't know if I love Zombieland because it was incredibly well-written and had an awesome cameo or because he did a great job directing, but it is tough to get the taste of Gangster Squad out of my mouth. I just hope Venom never says, "Say hi to Santa Claus."
What do you think, Jeremy?
Say hi to Santa Claus. If he says it like that, I think it would be all right. No, I'm just going to gush the comic book nerd in me. Schnepp and I found out about this when we were in Vegas. We were like, Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock and Venom is fantastic. No offense, Ellis, to Topher Grace, but casting Topher Grace as Venom is like casting Tom Holland as Venom, not Tom Hardy.
I thought you said casting Tom Holland as Nathan Drake.
Yeah. no, him as young Nathan Drake, that's fine. But that last Venom they did, that movie was a wreck on like 78 different levels. But Tom Hardy as Venom, the casting alone for the character, I think that's fantastic. You guys raised good points as to what he might think about the script or the universe going forward, which again, that makes it even better. It's like, oh, not only is he well cast for the role, but he's actually picky enough for us to be like, oh, that might actually be a good script, a good universe, a good idea they're building. I'm with you on this one. It's like Sony's in this situation where it's like, we don't have Spider-Man right now, but we can do a Venom movie. They're doing the best they can with what they have, and I can't blame them for doing a Venom movie. It changes a bit of Venom's character, not having it tied in with Spider-Man. Maybe it does. Maybe Spider-Man's like, that one thing that happened that one time. I really highly doubt it, but we'll see where it goes. But for the casting alone, pumped about it.
It is hard to speculate right now when we don't know. Okay, we know it's not a part of the MCU. So what are they going to... It's so hard to form a real coherent opinion when we don't know what their underlying philosophy is.
Is it 10 years in the future? Is it like 10 years from the events of Civil War? Like,
is
one
it a
really
Miles
knows.
Morales Spider-Man? Is it something else? I don't know. Schnepp, what do you think about the whole Tom Holland thing?
I love...
Tom Hardy thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Tom Hardy's one of my favorite actors. The guy can do no wrong in my eyes. That he's playing Venom all of a sudden makes me want to see this Venom movie.
Really?
Yeah. Because I was kind of, and I still am, on the fence about it. And I honestly, personally don't think that this Venom film will ever hit the screen without being tied into Spider-Man. And I think that what will probably happen is Spider-Man Homecoming will come out and be an incredible hit. We're all hoping that it's a good film as well. And so that it
I'm hearing great things.
Gets great critical response. And that Marvel and Sony continue their relationship and re-up. And not only re-up Spider-Man, but integrate all these other characters into the Marvel/Sony MC universe, whatever you want to call it, because Venom would work as a solo film, even if they did Venom Noir. If you're familiar with the comic books, Venom has done they have a Venom Space Knight right now, which is kind of goofy, but they're using Venom in many different ways in the comic books. But with this and having an actor like Tom Hardy, Ruben Fleischer, one good, one bad, so unknown really as far as I think his directing chops will probably come forward better in this kind of a film,
right?
Because of Zombieland. So I'm looking forward to it, but I don't see this moving forward, I don't see a Sinister Six movie happening in Sony's universe without
I don't
Spider-Man.
either.
Or
Yeah.
this Black Cat Silver Sable that they keep like threatening us with. It sounds so stupid.
I love how you put that they're threatening.
Yeah,
us
because it
with.
is. It's like, really? Are you really
That's
going to make
great.
that? Yeah, they're like, we might. Well, yeah, where's the Aunt May movie? That's all I can say about it.
We know where it is.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Deadline is reporting that Suicide Squad director David Ayer is in early negotiations to direct Universal's remake of Scarface. Diego Luna is attached to star in the movie, which will be a reimagining of the immigrant story told in both the 1932 and 1983 film versions. In this new version, Luna will play Mexican immigrant with the events taking place in modern-day Los Angeles. John Herman and the Coen brothers have penned the most recent version of the script, with production looking to move forward soon in order to hit the August 10, 2018 release. Jeremy, what do you think about David Ayer directing Scarface?
Well, this is the thing about David Ayer is like he's not just the director of Suicide Squad. He's the director of Fury. He's the director of End of Watch. The dude he did End of Watch, right? I'm not making
yes.
that up. Okay. So, I mean, the dude has sometimes...
Tom Holland directed
Yeah,
End of
Tom Holland. Tom Holland Hardy directed End of Watch. But, I mean, I like Suicide Squad, but there is definitely... there's some sort of studio tampering in there. So, whether or not you like Suicide Squad, I don't want that to be like, well, no, I didn't like Suicide Squad, so he's the bad choice. I think the dude is a good choice for doing a Scarface movie. A Scarface remake is fine also, because if you hate remakes, Scarface itself is a remake. So you like a remake, congratulations. So, I mean, I have no reason to not like this concept of David Ayer doing it. So, yeah, bring it on. Go for it.
I love the idea. I mean, I'm excited to see a new version of Scarface. Yeah, there's already been a couple of remakes of Scarface. Why not have this newer version, this newer story, this newer retelling? David Ayer is a great director. He's not going to be doing Gotham City Sirens. So that's kind of like the one, if you were caring about that film, they just lost their director, because there's no way that they're going to be able, unless they're going to push it off for 3 more years.
If they push that off and put Batgirl into that spot and try to get Batman out earlier, it could work.
Yeah, it's the DC cinematic universe has like 17 announced films, and none of them are shooting yet. So all of us have to wait and decide, like, look, I want to see any one of the films that they're pondering about actually going into production on. I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to Wonder Woman. We're going to get to see that. So that's really exciting. Gotham City Sirens, probably a little bit of a wait, but oh boy, Scarface, bam, I'm excited.
All right, guys, prepare yourselves. We're going to do something I don't do often on this show. I'm going to make a sports reference. Hang on, Schnepp.
What?
Hang on.
What?
Is it David Ayer is a guy with a high ceiling? What I mean by that is whenever your favorite team starts a season, you're like, they could win the championship, but I'm a little nervous about some of the players, so they could finish in the bottom of the division. David Ayer has done great work, as Jahns mentioned, with Fury and End of Watch. He also did the Arnold Misfire Sabotage. He also did Street Kings, which are still the movies that feel like they could belong in this universe. So I think if we get high ceiling David Ayer, like End of Watch, I thought was brilliant. I think it was an incredibly made movie. If that's the kind of David Ayer we get for this new Scarface remake, then I'm totally on board. It bothers me still a little bit that this is a Scarface remake and not just a movie about the Mexican cartels bringing in drugs starring Diego Luna. I could have gone for that. The fact that they're hanging on to that Scarface name because it's such a popular property still gives me a little bit of apprehension, but with David Ayer on board, I'm a little more confident.
What he's saying, guys, is as long as he's not mana-starved, he gets that vampire Nighthawk out there. He can have a flying death touch lifelink, and I think it'll all work out for everybody.
You're still 0-4 against me in Magic, are you not?
I think it's 3.
I think it's 4, but maybe it's 3.
Delusions.
Look, it's Fury is not a masterpiece of a movie. It's a great movie, though. I really like it, but it is a master class in directing. Mm-hmm. That whole movie is based on the directing. When you've got the cast in that movie that you got, and you direct, I think Shia LaBeouf's greatest performance ever was in that movie. I mean, that's the movie that made us go, oh yeah, I forgot that kid can actually act.
That movie made me understand tank strategy.
Yes.
I mean, I was like, oh my God, this is scary. It's so well directed, that entire 10-minute tank sequence.
Yeah, I think this would be fantastic for this. And yeah, you can have your opinion about Suicide Squad, but understand Suicide Squad is a massively different kind of a film than something like Scarface would be, which would be more akin to something like End of Watch or Fury or things like that. Ayer has shown he can direct this stuff beautifully. So this is nothing but good news. So for me, yeah, this is a no-brainer.
If Diego Luna starts doing this in the third act, though, I might get a little nervous.
All right, what's next?
It's Monday, which means it's time for the weekend box office report. It was a tight race at the box office this weekend, with new release Alien Covenant barely squeaking by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 for the #1 spot. Covenant made an estimated $36 million, with Volume 2 taking the #2 spot with $35.1 million, dropping 46% compared to last weekend and topping $300 million domestically. And the #3 spot was WB and MGM's Everything Everything with an estimated $12 million. Amy Schumer and Goldie Hawn's comedy Snatch took the #4 spot with $7.6 million, dropping 61% in its second weekend in release. And in the #5 spot was Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Long Haul. The fourth film in the Wimpy Kid franchise made $7.2 million, well below industry expectations. Mark, thoughts on the weekend box office results?
I'm a little disappointed, Ashley, because I still haven't seen Alien Covenant, so I guess I could have helped out the movie more than I did. But if Prometheus, when that opened, made $51 million opening weekend, and this can only do 36, that's a bummer, man, because unlike Prometheus, this had the Xenomorph on the poster, and we're so excited, we're finally back in the Alien universe. I was hearing mostly positive things about this, so $36 million, I think any way you slice it, it's a letdown for me as a fan of Alien that wanted this movie to do well and wants to see more Alien films. It would appear that the appetite, that the clamor for Alien movies, which by all means I think was marketed very well, you saw a lot of advertisements for it, it just isn't a number that I wanted to hit. And the fact that it almost lost to Guardians of the Galaxy on its third weekend, I think says as much about the disappointment that is Alien Covenant as it does about the continued success of Guardians of the Galaxy. But make no mistake, that movie is crushing it. It is definitely going to be one of the biggest hits of the summer.
I think this is very much a telling of just how divisive and underwhelming Prometheus was. I think this is really more of a condemnation on Prometheus than anything else. That the next one comes out and it looks great, the ads are great, everybody was buzzing about it, but the general public could just not muster the excitement because I think the bad taste of Prometheus. Now, I know Prometheus has his fans, and that's awesome. That's the beautiful thing about movies, is that we all like different things, and that's great. But I think this is pretty much indicative of the fact that a lot of the general going on was not thrilled with Prometheus. They weren't thrilled about going back to see another one. I think if they put out another Alien film, because I think this one's really good. I really enjoy Alien Covenant a lot. I think if they do another one, you're going to see an improvement in its opening weekend because they're going to be coming off of a win. But yeah, it is disappointing to see numbers like that, especially when you look at how much it cost. Guardians of the Galaxy cracking $300 million domestically, already topping over $733 million internationally. Remember, just a couple of years, a couple of characters that nobody had ever heard of or ever cared about. So that's got to feel pretty good for those guys over there. Schnepp, what do you think about the box office results?
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but I wouldn't start crying about it too much for myself. I think the drop off next week will be more indicative.
Well, look what it's opening again. Like we got Baywatch, which is, you got The Rock in there,
right,
and we got a Pirates of the Caribbean movie. I think it's gonna struggle next weekend.
You think it might have a 60% drop?
I think we're looking at 60 to 65% drop.
That's what makes me nervous, is because this was the weekend to make your nut, because next week you're not gonna do it with Pirates of the Caribbean and Baywatch. Then the week after you have Wonder Woman coming out, which everybody should see. So it's a bummer.
Well, you know what I think is most disappointing, at least for myself, is like so many critics were so negative and crybaby about this film. And it's like
Covenant?
For Alien Covenant,
Really?
very negative, like just almost to the point of trolling, like crying about certain scenes, this and that. I enjoyed the film. I'm a sci-fi horror fan. I think it's great. Does it have some issues in it? Yeah. Does it have a few things that don't make sense? Yes. So what? Go into the movie and enjoy yourself. Sometimes, I'm not saying to check your brain. It's not a stupid film.
It's got 72% rating around.
I'm just saying, it's like most recently online, I just noticed a bunch of like crybabies showing up, and it's always disappointing to me when it's like a bunch of people are just whining about one or two specific scenes, but not talking about the 10 or 15 amazing scenes in the film. It's like everybody needs to chill, is what I think.
Yeah, you almost called me Schnepp, didn't you?
No, I was about to say something else that I opted not to say.
What, shithead? You can call me that if you want. You can call me that. Most people do. So for Alien Covenant, I feel like they did everything right marketing-wise. It's like they showed the alien. To a bit of a, I don't want to say a bait and switch tactic, but there was a lot leading up to the alien part. The alien part is the last act of the movie, and they didn't really pitch the first 2/3 of the movie. But again, like Schnepp, I walked out of the movie going, yeah, that was a good one. I feel like there is definitely a fool me once, shame on you kind of thing going on with people who didn't like Prometheus in this movie. They're like, I know it is, nope. Which is a bummer. I am interested to see what happens next week because, as we're talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, I want to see if people still care enough about Pirates of the Caribbean because this would be the movie to look forward to next week. Like if it was 10 years ago, like a new Pirates film. It's been a while. I don't know who cares about Pirates anymore, so I'm really looking forward to next Monday.
I think it crushes, man.
You think it'll just crush?
I think it demolishes Baywatch.
Oh, I think it'll do #1 in the box office, but I still want to see
but I think it makes
what
a
it
crap
is.
ton of money. I think you could be looking like close to triple figures.
Holy smokes.
With Pirates of the Caribbean. But with Alien 2, and we say this a lot of times when we talk about the box office, is that it could make its money overseas. The bulk of Prometheus's cash earnings was from overseas markets, so maybe there's a clamor for that worldwide with Alien Covenant. It cost just under $100 million to make. So, look, I haven't even seen the movie yet, so I don't know if I want to see another one that bad, but I was kind of hoping I would.
You know, here's a thing that I'm thinking about is, I mean, because Ridley Scott said he wants to make a lot of these Prometheus movies, but how many times can we see that? How many times can we see people go to a planet, and then there's a mystery thing, and then an alien busts out of somebody, and they have to survive until they blow it out of an airlock? Like, how many times can we possibly see
John,
that?
I have not seen the movie yet.
How
Well,
many
that's just
times?
Alien.
not seen
I'm
the
saying
picture.
that's Alien 101.
But to be fair, but I mean,
seen
how
the
many
picture.
times can you watch a movie about, okay, everything's a normal day, and then everybody starts hearing on the news that some kind of infection has broken out, and the victims of this infection are going crazy and attacking other people, and it's a global zombie epidemic. We've seen hundreds of those.
Yeah.
How many times can you
and it
see a
gets boring.
movie where a guy goes back in time,
There's a lot of
almost
success,
has
though.
sex with his mom, he gets in a DeLorean, he gets back. We've seen that movie 100 times.
You raised it. Let me throw this out totally out of left field. I'm going to set an over/under number here.
Oh boy.
99.5 million domestic.
Over.
Over under $99.5 million opening weekend for Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Oh, I'll say over.
You're going to take the over?
I'll be a dick. I'll say under.
You're going to take the over?
Do either John or I get a pie in the face if we're wrong? This has happened to us before. We're a little nervous right now. I'm going over.
I'm also going to take the over. Not by a ton, but I'm going to take the over on that one.
I'll be the curmudgeon. Yeah, you kids, you get your ball off my lot.
I don't know where to go with that. And we've reached that part of the show now for buy or sell. Here's how this works, guys. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. Then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Earlier this year, it was reported that director James Cameron would be returning to the Terminator franchise he created to produce and shepherd a new approach to the property, with Deadpool director Tim Miller at the helm of the movie. Now it looks as if Arnold Schwarzenegger will be returning as well. Speaking to Screen Daily from the Cannes Film Festival, Schwarzenegger confirmed he would be back, saying, "It is back. It is moving forward. Cameron has some good ideas of how to continue with the franchise. I will be in the movie." Schnepp, buy or sell Arnold Schwarzenegger in another Terminator movie.
Man, that's so rough because it's like, boy, did Genesis suck balls. It was such a horrible film. And this is like, what number Terminator is this? I can't even remember now. Is this going to be a sixth one? Or?
Six.
But if it's James Cameron, it's his baby, so it's kind of like, well, and Tim Miller's an incredible director, so, part of me is there. I really want to see Schwarzenegger do King Conan, and I'm so bummed out that he's not part of that now, and the whole idea of him showing up, it's almost like Twin Peaks, like, 25 years later, honoring that ending scene with him as King Conan, So whether or not he's in Terminator, I don't care.
You just brought up the perfect analogy for this is the Conan stuff. We've been hearing from Arnold for almost 10 years now. Yep, we got the Conan script now, and I'm in it. And we've been hearing that for 10 years, and it's never happened. And the other thing on top of this is that James Cameron is working on 4 Avatar movies.
Yeah, right.
And people, I don't know why people, like, I tell them this Alita Battle Angel thing, right? That's being directed by
Rodriguez. It's already shot.
Yeah, it's already
in the
shot and
can.
everything. It's like, oh yeah, but James Cameron's producing. I'm like, James Cameron is gonna sit down for lunch one day with Rodriguez. He's tied up making 4 other films. Oh, but Cameron's gonna be really involved in Terminator. No, he's not.
It's right.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
They might say he is, but he doesn't. He's not going to. He'll say all the right things. Maybe he'll take a lunch meeting, and maybe he does have an idea. But I want it to happen. I do want to see Arnold Go out of the Terminator franchise on a high note. I want to see it happen. Genesis was not that one.
Right.
I would like to see it happen. I just don't think it's going to. I'm going to sell it.
It did happen with Terminator 2 Judgment Day, where they stopped everything and the saga ends right there.
That's right.
And it looks like good cred when the whole the old director is coming back going, oh yeah, this is going to be great, and Arnold's like, this is going to be fantastic. And then, but you remember when I was sitting in the theater and then there was James Cameron talking about Terminator Genesis.
Yes.
And he was like, I was there, and then you see things that you remember. This is a fantastic, and it's like, so basically he was the greatest pitch master ever. He was the greatest poster child ever to go, yeah, this movie's gonna be great, and it wasn't. So if James Cameron's coming back saying, oh yeah, this next Terminator movie's gonna be great, it doesn't really mean as much to me as it would have because he said that about Terminator Genesis. So, I mean, I have up through Terminator 2, and I'm fine with that.
Hey, sorry, just let me interrupt just for a second. This is Dennis just pointed out this great comment that was left regarding from one of the viewers regarding Alien Covenant. And the comment, I won't read the name, but you can probably look through the comments and find it if you want. I didn't see Alien Covenant because there was an interracial couple and a homosexual character, not because I didn't want to see Alien the movie or Prometheus. Just on behalf of myself, go fuck yourself. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Mark.
Let's not move on yet. Go fuck yourself again. After you're done fucking yourself because he told you to, go ahead and fuck yourself from this guy right here. John, I made 2 Avatar movies before breakfast. They're not hard things to make, okay? You act like these Avatar things are the biggest movie spectacles to ever walk the face of the earth. They're little independent films. Of course James Cameron can do that. And then go make... I don't trust anything Arnold Schwarzenegger says. I'm sorry, I don't. He's one of the greatest action... He's the greatest action movie star of all time. And I don't trust anything he says because he's a constant and one mixtape hype man. He loves hyping up stuff about what he's going to be doing in the future, what he did that morning, and he just loves talking. He loves getting people excited about Terminator because he's excited if he could do another Terminator. I just don't see it happening, and I'm not going to take news coming out of Arnie's mouth.
You know what? I mean, Tim Miller is such a great director. If this is indeed true, I will totally give it a shot. Obviously, I'm a Terminator fan. They are re-releasing Terminator 2 in 3D, completely remastered and recolored time. So at least that's cool news.
Yeah, so is this going to take place? How many timelines of Terminator are there? There's when it ended in 2, and then Terminator 3 happened, which Terminator
created a new
the one with Sam Worthington.
That's the fourth one.
Salvation.
Salvation. And then there's Terminator Genesis. Is it going to be a sequel to Genesis or one of the other ones? Like,
look, I am tired of you guys disrespecting Terminator Jenny Smith. Pronounce the name properly.
All right. Well, as the host of the show, I guess it's my responsibility, even though I'm in an interracial relationship, to move us on to the next topic.
Oscar-winning composer Michael Giacchino officially joined the Marvel Studios family last fall with Doctor Strange, and he continues his work in this summer's Spider-Man Homecoming. As the score is one of the last pieces added to a film, Giacchino is now fully in the recording stages for the Jon Watts-directed reboot, sharing a small snippet this weekend of what fans can expect from the score. Maybe. In a video posted on Twitter, we see Giacchino conducting his full orchestra and a new variation on the classic Spider-Man theme song. Whether or not this is actually the theme for the new movie remains to be seen. John, do you buy or sell that this is Giacchino's actual score for Spider-Man Homecoming?
I sell it. I don't think it's the actual score. But if you have not seen it, you should look it up on YouTube. Giacchino put it on himself. It's so fun. It's so fun seeing this orchestra playing that classic Spider-Man theme. We were talking about it beforehand at our pre-production meeting. I really do think this, though. It's like, do you remember when the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie came out? Mm-hmm. And then the end credits started, and then they played the classic Star Trek theme there. I've got a feeling that's where we're going to see this classic Spider-Man music, is when the end credits are playing. I don't think it's going to be the actual theme. I mean, and if it does, great, that's fine too. But I don't see them going in that direction. But look up this video on YouTube. I think it'll put a smile on your face.
Hey, Jeremy, how's that Star Trek theme sound?
As real as I can make it.
I'm going to try to hit that high note in a minute. I got to clear my throat, though. I think you'll see like flares of that classic score because they're going to have fun with the... Michael Giacchino, he's great at taking previous works, whether it's Star Wars or Jurassic Park, and infusing that into new scores. So I think that he'll borrow a little bit from here just for the sentimental, nostalgic notes, but I don't think this is the main theme of the movie.
I love this this little video. It was definitely, if you know the old '60s Spider-Man, it's so much fun to hear that theme song, but done like an orchestral, like big, big budget. I think they'll use it for an action montage. Is my guess. Is once he's actually doing a whole bunch of cool Spider-Man stuff, that they'll bring this music in.
What do you think?
Just like a spider looks like a bug. However it went in the Raimi movie.
remember
I
the
love
Simpsons version.
I love that.
Pig. Spider Pig.
Does what every Spider Pig does. That's a good one too. No, I agree with you. It'll probably be in the end credits somewhere. You may hear a few notes. When the actor's going down, it's all da 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 da, and you're like, wait, those 4 notes are, oh my god, But I don't think it's going to be the entirety of the entire score. I do think, man, I gotta say, if I were conducting the music to a Spider-Man movie, I would have the sheet paper and I'd be like, you guys want to break the internet? I swear to you, Movie Talk will dedicate an entire topic to this. You have that cell phone camera ready. Watch this. This is going to be great. I would just do it, and then here we are. We're all talking about it. So it might have just been for fun, but I think if we're going to see it, it will definitely be in the end credits.
John, you sounded pretty good on your Star Trek score in the pre-production meeting. All 4 of you guys want to try it right now? Let's do it. Ready?
All right.
3, 2, 1. Suck it, Giacchino. Schnepp was waiting for you to bring that up.
Somewhere out there, dogs are going, oh! We have made so many dog owners angry.
When these dogs are just like, clawing.
All right, what's next?
Tough act to follow. According to Variety, Universal Pictures is officially moving forward on a sequel to the 2008 hit Mamma Mia, with the Best Exotic Marigold Hotel writer, Ol Parker, writing and directing the new movie titled Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again. Universal has been bouncing around ideas for years now, with sources saying that one angle of the story could focus on Meryl Streep, Colin Firth, and Pierce Brosnan's characters years before the original takes place. The sequel will feature ABBA songs not featured in the 2008 movie, along with some reprise favorites, according to the studio's announcement. Universal also dated the movie for a July 20th, 2018 release. Mark, will you sing for us again and buy or sell a sequel to Mamma Mia?
Having the time of your life.
There we go.
Yeah.
Mamma Mia did okay, so yeah, why not have a sequel? It's fun. It's a stupid musical, but ABBA kicks ass.
Yeah.
And I'm up for this. The other movie that opened that movie opened the weekend of The Dark Knight. Obviously, The Dark Knight got a sequel. Mamma Mia gets a sequel. Does this mean that Space Chimps is also going to get a sequel? Back to you, John. I was finished.
Wrap your head around this. The Incredibles came out in 2004. Mamma Mia came out in 2008. We're going to get a Mamma Mia sequel before we're getting an Incredibles sequel.
That's painful.
Wrap your head. I know every time I walk into a coffee shop in Burbank, all I hear the patrons talking about is, when is another Mamma Mia movie coming?
Right.
And look, I dug I had fun with the Mamma Mia movie. I did. I had fun with it, but a sequel? Really? Okay, whatever. If they've got a good idea, why not take a shot? So sure, I'll buy it.
I love the fact that you brought up the fact that it came out opposite Dark Knight, because not a lot of people know that. It did come out Dark Knight weekend. I think if there was one thing that can rival our musical prowess, is bringing Pierce Brosnan back for his solo. He's the only one who can beat us, guys. I'm really pumped for this. I enjoyed the movie, and I enjoy me some ABBA music, so bring on another sequel. I will probably watch it and enjoy it.
Schnepp.
Never saw it. Mamma Mia, please. Never saw it. That's the Queen
that's a
song.
different movie.
So yeah, I didn't see Mamma Mia.
The sequel will be based on that song.
I have to wait for the third Mamma Mia. That's my, you know how I rock
You
with those
always wait for the
trilogies. I gotta
trilogy
wait
to
for that
finish.
trilogy to complete it. So yeah.
All right, guys, so I want to remind you that Movie Talk is not the only show on Collider Video. A little bit later today, we've got Josh McCouga and his crew talking everything TV in the newest episode of TV Talk. Of course, our weekend, we had a bunch of things go up. We've got Saturday and Sunday's mailbag, and of course, the newest episode of Behind the Scenes and Bloopers. Of course, every Friday, new episodes of Awesome Tacular with this man, Jeremy Jahns. And speaking of the aforementioned Pirates of the Caribbean, our Pirates of the Caribbean review went up. It's up on our main page right now, so go and check that out. And listen, guys, we do this show live, and when we do it live, we like to save a little bit of time to take your live Twitter questions. So jump on Twitter, start firing your questions to @ColliderVideo, and send those in and out. And you know what? We're running a little bit short on time, and I want to make sure we don't shortchange you guys who are watching us live. So let's just go to Twitter questions right now. Wendy, what have you picked out?
All right, the first one comes from Nolan Dean, who writes, who do you guys think should play Carnage for Venom's movie? I feel he only works there as he's too dark for the MCU.
Man, you know, that's a great question. Like, back in the day, I had Sting, because you would watch Dune, and you're like, that guy would be straight up Cletus Cassidy. Now I have no earthly idea, but back in the day, I had Sting, for sure.
Topher Grace.
Tom Holland. That would be an interesting twist.
Right? That would be.
Same guy.
I look at somebody like who's just got like the wiry kind of build, like a Reese Ifans type, somebody like that. But I guess he was in Spider-Man already, right? He was like the Lizard or something.
Get Jim Carrey.
Why am I Steve Buscemi?
Ooh.
He could play the crazy.
Yeah,
Now?
totally.
But
Yeah,
Even now.
Oh.
Yeah, he's old.
Oh,
but
I
it's
know.
okay.
But I think he could rock that.
Yeah, we
I
can
think
CGI that.
All right, Sting.
All right, what's next?
All right, the next one comes from Alan Middleton, who writes, is it unfair to place Scott Pilgrim versus the World in the upcoming blockbuster Ready Player One in the video game movie genre?
To compare it?
Okay.
Yeah.
To say it's a video
Oh.
game movie?
Yeah, to say
it's
it's
not
a-
really a video game movie. So I would say, like, when you're talking
really
about
different.
video game movies, they have like video game vibe to it, but they're not video game movies. So when I say video game movies, generally speaking, are not good, I'm not talking about Scott Pilgrim versus the World or Mortal Kombat.
Well, and look, and this comes up too. This goes back to this. Wreck-It Ralph was not a video game
Yeah.
movie.
Right.
Wreck-It Ralph is a movie about a fictitious video game, but it was not a video game. A video game movie is a movie based on a pre-existing video game franchise. So,
Pixels, though it
was not a
sucked
video game
balls,
movie.
was not a video game movie. It had video game characters in it. Yeah.
The Wizard is not a video game movie. The Wizard doesn't count as a video game movie. None of these flicks we're talking about are, but Jahns is right. Mortal Kombat, the best video game movie there ever was, best there's ever going to be.
All right, what's next?
CK Sidekick writes, hey guys, is just me or is the announced Oscar season not looking at all that impressive so far?
Oh, it never is this far out.
No,
you know?
no. Don't even start thinking about it until we get to like end of November.
Right.
I mean,
September, October, November.
Yeah, no, Jeremy nailed it. Like at this point of the year, it's always the same. So I wouldn't sweat
What are you
it.
talking
at all.
about? Baywatch comes out next week.
All right, what's next?
All right, this one comes from Anthony Aragon, who writes, do you think Star Trek is losing steam in the box office because Star Wars has so much movies/books coming out at this time?
They're baiting us into it.
No, I don't think there's any causality there whatsoever. I think the two are completely unrelated. If anything, I mean, look, Star Trek. I said for a lot of years one of the biggest things I've been wrong about, and I'm super glad I was wrong about it, was when the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movie, the first one, was coming out. I said this is like years before it came out, but they announced it. I was like, this is a mistake. This is a dead franchise, and I meant it literally. The followers of that franchise were literally dying off. Mm-hmm. They were not generating new fans. It was a slowly dwindling franchise, and I said, this new franchise is a terrible mistake. This is going to be awful. This is terrible, and I loved it, and it ended up being great. I think, why did Beyond not do as well as it deserved to do? It's a great question because I think it was the best of the new Star Trek movies. I thought it was a really good first-rate film. Mm-hmm. The timing that it was released. Maybe it was indicative, like we talked about, how Alien Covenant not smashing the box office is really a condemnation on the public's reaction to Prometheus. Even though I liked Into Darkness, maybe the lack of big success for Beyond is really a conviction of how a lot of people did not like Into Darkness. And maybe we'll just have to see with the next one if it turns around, since Beyond was so good. I don't know, Schnepp, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing a Star Trek 4, a fourth film with the crew of the Enterprise.
And Chris Hemsworth coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing that. The Star Trek Discovery trailer that I saw was very underwhelming, and all the behind-the-scenes horror that I know about that entire series makes me very not excited to see that series. So, is Star Trek dead? No. Is it effed up? Yes.
Jeremy,
Yeah, I'm more with Schnepp on this one. I think there is you can't deny that Star Trek Beyond didn't make as much as the first two, you know, because also we're talking about the new Star Trek series and the trailer that wasn't that it was underwhelming for you.
Yeah.
The marketing for Star Trek, not Discovery, Star Trek Beyond. The trailers for different song. The trailers for Star Trek Beyond weren't that impressive. They didn't have the intrigue of Cumberbatch, and they weren't springboarding off of the first movie that was like, oh my god, that was actually really good. So I mean, can they make future installments that do make a lot of money? Sure, but right now I wouldn't put my money on it. If we're talking Vegas, I wouldn't put my chips on it, so to speak.
Yeah, they also open in that black hole of summertime where it's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle, I guess, where it's the weekend of Comic-Con is when Beyond opened, and so it didn't screen for a lot of critics who were going to see it were already at Comic-Con, didn't get a chance to check out that one huge screening they had on site, and it's just it's a tough summertime weekend to open a Star Trek movie when you have all these other movies that are of similar and going for kids coming out. So if you open a new Star Trek movie, I would say put it somewhere else in your calendar. Put it in February or March or in the fall sometime. Do not let it compete against all these other summer movies, because we saw another sci-fi franchise that got good reviews come out this weekend and not do that well. Maybe that has something to do with the fact that it comes out in the summertime.
Also, another thing that's always bothered me about this thing is, like, show some confidence in your property. Because where's this thing airing again? CBS All Access? Who the fuck has CBS All Access?
Nobody.
I think I signed up for 1 week so I could watch a football game that happened, but I don't know anybody that has. Can you imagine if Star Wars came out and said, we're launching a new television show and it's going to be on CWplus.com? Like seriously, it's like you can't. I've never understood this. I remember the first time I heard they're going to make a new Star Trek TV series. Wow, that's cool. It's been so long. They're putting it where?
Yeah.
Not on CBS, on CBS All Access?
I don't like CBS All. I can't watch my stories on All Access.
I've just never understood the rationale behind that.
It's a very sad way that they're using whatever's left of the Star Trek fan base to try to, like, you know, force them almost by ransom to sign up to this all access program. I think it's going to be like $3.99, $4.99 a month. So they're basically like, if you want to watch your Star Trek, you're going to have to pay for it. It's a screwy way to say thank you to all the fans for the
I
support.
mean, some
have to
people
pay
might
for it.
want to say,
Yeah.
some people would say, like, oh, isn't that what Stars does? Like, if you want to watch American Gods, you have to find. Yeah, but that's the entire Stars model. That's all they are. Stars, they are a subscription channel.
Yes.
CBS is a network channel. And they're going to try to do this pay service on the side, and they're going to kind of sweep a new Star Trek show under the rug into this new. I've always
Yeah.
thought that was very, very odd. Who knows? Maybe the show will be awesome, and we'll all be thrilled with it.
I
All
think
right.
it's a confusion of the networks too, real quick. Because the networks don't really know what to do with all these streaming services
Right.
that are
Yeah.
out producing better content than they have, so
Yes.
they're not really sure where to go right now. So it's more just CBS has the rights to Star Trek, and it's hard to get those out.
Are they but like, is CBS's strategy here? We have to make our HBO. We have
Yes.
to make our Netflix. Is that what they're doing?
But you know, it's even more confusing because as far as what I've read is that it's only in the States here that you're going to not be able to see it. Everywhere else, all around the world, it's going to be on Netflix or it's on Amazon or Hulu. It's one of the streaming services owns the rights to show
The
Star
distribution
Trek
rights
Discovery.
internationally, yeah.
But only in America are they screwing the fans.
Those damn Canadians are going to get it, and we're not.
Oh, there you go. All right, last question of the day.
Okay, this one comes from Jason Boise, who writes, do you think they'll remake the original 1968 Planet of the Apes as the final film to the rebooted Apes franchise?
Well, that's like 4,000 years removed. I can't remember how many hundreds of thousands of years separate where the Apes movies are now to when, you know, Charlton Heston lands back on Earth. So there's a lot of time. Every movie at some point will be remade.
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars at some point in the future will be remade. Everything at some point will be remade at some point. So sure, but as a part of this franchise, I don't see that happening. Unless they want to rewrite its history completely, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I would love to see whatever the fifth film end with like a Charlton Heston astronaut landing or something after they've got the lawgiver and they've established. I mean, because they are kind of going along this route.
We saw Charlton Heston leave. Remember they had that little clip in one of the movies?
Yes.
He takes off into space.
I feel like they are going to somehow roundabout way honor the older films. They aren't going to do a straight up remake. Just like I love Beneath the Planet of the Apes with the weird like freaky mutants who pray to the nuclear bomb. It's like I want to see that remade, but not straight up remade, like integrated into this storyline. So
Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I always thought that this franchise was going to lead into the Charlton Heston one. Like you said, you saw the news thing of the spaceship taking off. You also see a newspaper that says Mars mission vanished or something like that
Yeah.
after the apes have kind of started to wreak havoc.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so you're like, oh, hey, it disappeared and it went to the future, right? Yeah, it's in there.
What happened to it, Jeremy?
Well, you gotta watch Heston's film to find out, Mark. You gotta watch it.
I don't think they would do a straight up remake just because that like defeats the purpose of all the greatness from an originality standpoint that we've gotten with this new trilogy so far. But I think eventually you will have the shades. You might even have that, archetypical Statue of Liberty shot at some point. But it's interesting. I didn't know that they had that.
Yeah,
that
there are a
newspaper
couple
in
of
there.
Easter
That's
eggs
cool.
in there. I don't know if I want to. I don't need to see 100 chapters leading up to the point
Right.
where I'd be fine with like, all right, Caesar did it, the apes took over, now next movie. Because there's a lot of downtime. They're gonna be like, now what? I guess we just
Right.
kind of hang out.
The lawgiver.
Right.
I'm going to the whole 2 hours of some ape writing. This is like, what the hell?
All right, guys, that'll do it for us for this installment of the Movie Talk. Thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget, head on over to Twitter and take a look at that poll we did, which, by the way, Mark, do we have any results on that poll right now if you want to pull those up?
It's just you guys. This is you.
I have
He's
it.
pulling the number
Yeah.
up. Oh, you got it,
Almost
Wendy?
I have it.
there.
So what's the poll at right now?
So, I just hit refresh. All
Riley,
right, so
jettison. Riley
it's-
versus Wendy.
I got it first, Riley. All right, so it's actually closer than I expected. 47% voted yes, 53% voted no.
So it's pretty much right down the middle. About the if you're just joining us late, the poll we put up is: do you like the casting? Understanding what age they're going to make the character of Drake. Do you like the casting of Tom Holland? Right now, it's a little bit split down the middle. I guess we got to hear what their overall ideas before we get more into it. I want to thank the guys sitting at the table with me. First of all, sitting over here, Mr. Jon Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you online?
Twitter and Instagram, just at Jon Schnepp. Hey, I got a weirdo book I'm trying to self-publish. Go to Kickstarter. It's called Isolated Mutations of the Assembly Line Baby. It's a verse novel. It's weird. I've been working on it for 25 years. Why don't you pre-order it, son?
Sitting right beside me, Shithead.
Hi, you can find me at Shithead on YouTube, Twitter, rest of the internet. You can find my show, Awesome-tacular, on Go90, where I talk comic books with Jon Schnepp. I take pies in the face because Mark Ellis is the man. Shithead.com.
Sitting right beside me, Mr. Mark Ellis.
Hey, at Mark Ellis Live is the Twitter handle. That's what's on the prompter. And that's all I got today, John. Back to you.
Over there at the table, we got Ashley Mova.
Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, Ashley Mova. Happy Monday, guys.
And right beside her, Wendy Lee.
I thought you were going to call me a shithead too. Oh, what I do. The Movie Couple channel on YouTube and at Wendy Lee Zaney on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
And you guys can follow me on all social media. Just follow me at Jon Campea. That'll do it for us, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining us. And until tomorrow, bye-bye.
Hey guys, if you like this video, click the thumbs up button. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It'll help you stay up to date with everything we've got going on here at Collider.